Hey, how's it going, everyone? Saints fan back again with another Red Dead Redemption 2 breakdown video, and today we'll be taking a look at the official trailer number 2. There's a lot to break down in this trailer, but before we hop in, I just want to throw this out there. Tell me this would not be amazing. So this is going to contain some spoilers for Red Dead Redemption 1, but it's a super old game. By now, you should probably already know what happens. At the end of that game, John Marston dies, and you play the rest of the game as his son, Jack. Now, knowing that, and knowing that Red Dead Redemption 2 is a prequel to Red Dead Redemption 1, the question that a lot of people are asking, what happens to the main character, Arthur Morgan? If this game is a prequel to the first game, and it involves Dutch's gang, which John Marston was in, and a lot of these other characters made it into Red Dead Redemption 1, what ends up happening to Arthur? One of the best theories, and if they don't do this, I would be kind of disappointed, is that at the end of Red Dead Redemption 2, John Marston is actually going to kill Arthur Morgan, and we get to continue the game playing as John Marston. I think that would be such an incredible way to tie in both games, because Red Dead Redemption was about John getting out of the gang, and it would be a really cool way to sort of go into Red Dead 1 by having John kill, one of the members of the gang in Arthur. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but tell me that wouldn't be awesome, because we would get a new story with Arthur, but then in the end, we would continue as John, a character that we all love. Okay, so with that theory out the way, let's hop into some of the stuff that you may have missed from the trailer. Let's talk about this guy, since we're on the topic of John Marston. This guy right here, many people are speculating that this is a younger version of John Marston. And it would make sense if this game is like 10 or 15 years prior to the events of Red Dead 1. So that's why people are speculating this right here could be John Marston. But one thing that someone reminded me of, because in this scene, our character is telling this guy that he will kill his mother, who is weeping over his father who just died. And we learned in Red Dead Redemption 1 that John's parents were actually killed when he was super, super young. And he was actually raised in an orphanage. So unless Rockstar retconned his childhood and his history, this is not John Marston. I mean, I guess they could say this is his adopted parents, but I'm pretty sure, didn't Dutch's gang or Dutch himself adopt John? I think something like that happened, so I do not think this is John. And another thing, we actually have artwork of John. No, Rockstar haven't come out and said officially this is 100% John, but if you guys remember this picture, that basically looks like John. So if that's how John looks in Red Dead Redemption 2, then obviously the young kid we just saw is not him. John is going to look the exact same, so it might not actually be as far into the past as some people are thinking. Another thing regarding the trailer is that it was actually recorded on a PS4. The PS4, or the PlayStation Twitter account, tweeted this and said it was captured on a PS4. Now, they didn't mention a PS4 Pro, so we'll still have to wait and see if there's any more information about the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One versions, if they're any different. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the leaked map. This is a map that was leaked about a year ago, and at the time, many people thought it was real. Also, a lot of people thought it was fake. So it was about 50-50 on if it was real or if it was fake. Someone actually cleaned it up, and this right here is what we have. And I'm going to be doing a much more in-depth video on the map and comparing it to some stuff from the trailer later on. But just a few things that indicates this map is actually real. This leaked map is real. First off, if we zoom in right here in the middle of the map, we have Cornwall, kerosene, and tar. Also, right next to it, we have Heartland Oil Fields, and this little dotted line is a train track that goes basically, right south of the Heartland Oil Fields. And if we go to the trailer and we take a look at the text on the train, CO, and then over here, it's kind of hard to tell, but that says Cornwall. So, unless the person who leaked that map could predict the future, I would say that indicates that map is real, but there are some other things, because the Heartland Oil Fields that I told you guys to think about, that is probably this area right here, because this giant structure that is going into the air. That is probably one of those things that collect oil. I have no idea what they're called. And we actually saw a lot of those in the first trailer. So, assuming this area is the Heartland Oil Fields, then this train track goes right next to it. Like, assuming the oil fields are a little bit north of this picture, like behind these houses, then this train track does fit with that leaked map. And then the final thing I'll talk about regarding the map, if we go to the end of this trailer, we have this manor, or this big old house. And it looks like it's probably on a swampy area. And we do see a lot of swampy areas in this trailer. I mean, you see the alligator in the swamp. We see the people, going through the swamp. So the swamps are a big part of this game, it looks like. Well, if we take a look back at that leaked map, at the bottom towards the right-hand side, we have a bayou, which has a bunch of swamps in it. And we also have the Braithwaite Manor. I probably said that wrong. But that could potentially be the manor or that big house that we see in the trailer. Now, speaking of that house, we have this scene, which looks like to be that house in the background up in flames. So it looks like Rockstar took a page out of the GTA 5 book where they walk away from a flaming house. And there's a few things to note about this. One, it looks like at one point in the story, we will be torching that house. And then two, these three people. So this guy on the right, this looks to be the main character, Arthur. Over here on the left, we actually have Bill Williamson. That's what that character looks like. He has the same hat and everything. And it would make sense because Bill was actually a part of Dutch's gang. And then obviously some stuff happened and he became one of the main bad guys in Red Dead Redemption 1. But that's another character that is coming back. And then we have this guy in the middle. Now, some people are speculating that that is John Marston. But I don't see it. I mean, he does wear a similar hat. The clothing is just a little off and the facial area is just a little off. Again, in that artwork right here, you can see John has his beard still. So this guy is clean shaven, it looks like, which means it's not John. But you can see this is what Bill Williamson looks like, and it's pretty much spot on. Another thing we'll take a look at in the trailer is this character right here. Now, we don't know who this is. Some people were speculating that this could be Abigail Marston, but the thing with that, if you look at her eyes here are brown, where her eyes in Red Dead Redemption 1 were like a blue or green color. So she has different color eyes, so I don't think that character is Abigail Marston.
Maybe when your mother's finished mourning your father, I'll keep her in black on your behalf.
So there seemed to be some confusion regarding that scene or that line. And what he says was, when your mother is finished mourning your father, I'll keep her in black on your behalf. Some people were sort of asking me, what exactly does that mean? And I guess what he means is that he's threatening the kid, saying that your mother is wearing black because she's in mourning, because her husband, your father, just died. And I'll keep her in mourning because I'll kill you as well. And I think that adds a lot to the backstory or just the character motivations for Arthur. He's definitely not a good guy, and maybe that's what this game is about. It is called Red Dead Redemption, and in the first one, John went through a redemption arc, so maybe he starts off as this, Arthur starts off as this bad guy that doesn't care about anyone, and in the end, he redeems himself, he turns on Dutch or something, because he also in the trailer says,
Do you have my bag? Always, Dutch.
Always, Dutch, in response to, do you have my back? So maybe that's a little tease that at one point he won't have his back and I'll have to turn on him. And maybe that's actually how John Marston gets involved, because Dutch sends John after Arthur and there's a battle where Arthur ends up dying and then you play as John. One thing I saw that was super funny, and this is probably going to become a meme right here, this horse's face. I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping it'll probably get fixed out because this is an early, preview of the game. And we have, 5-6 months left until the game comes out. So I'm sure they'll fine tune and tweak all the animations and stuff. But it is kind of funny just the way the horse's face is. So I know a lot of people, I've seen that on Twitter a lot. So I thought, I'd mention it just in case you were wondering where the meme came from. But there you guys have it. That is my breakdown. If I miss anything, let me know in the comments. Actually, there are a few little details that I do want to point out. So in this scene right here, if we actually take a look, if I slow it down and we take a look at Arthur in the next scene, when it switches here, you will notice, watch the details. It has soup dropping from it. So it's just like the little things. And it also happens again towards the end of this trailer. Right here, when he's shooting the guns, watch his eyes. They close when the bullet, comes out. Because I've never shot a gun in my life, but I would imagine if you shoot a gun in front of your face and you see this giant flash, you're probably going to close your eyes or blink for a second. And just the little things, like that's what Rockstar do really well. So that's why, I'm really looking forward to this game. But thank you guys for watching my breakdown. Let me know in the comments what you thought of everything. Like I said, I'll be doing a map breakdown analysis a little bit more, and maybe some other stuff that you guys want to see. So if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'll be covering Red Dead Redemption 2 a bunch over the upcoming months, so I hope you guys are ready for the game. But thank you all. As always, though, I will see you guys in the next one.